Dana, big, huge fight with these two guys. What does this fight mean to GSP and BJ Penn?
Well, you hear them both talking about legendary status. These guys are looking to, prove to the world. This is one of those fights that 50 years from now, people will be talking about. It's going to take one guy to the next level. I think the guy that walks out the winner is on his way to becoming a superstar.
The original fight was pretty controversial. How did Dana White score that fight?
It was a close fight. BJ easily won the first round. GSP, second round. The third was a toss-up. I gave it to GSP. I thought GSP won the third round.
So he scored that fight for BJ, or for GSP, in essence.
Right.
Okay. So you look at this whole pound-for-pound debate with Anderson Silva, but then you have these two guys. Pound for pound. George is considered number 2, number 3 at times. BJ's often top 4. What happens to the pound-for-pound rankings in this fight? If the winner comes out, what happens?
I don't think they change at all. The Anderson Silva is far and above the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Obviously, the fighter that wins this fight between BJ and St. Pierre is on their way. They've got to do a couple more big things in their career to challenge Anderson Silva, or something happens to Anderson. But Anderson Silva is way above the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
So you take a look at BJ, GSP. If he wins this fight, he gets Anderson Silva most likely. If he wins that fight, is that what he has to take?
Well, I think if St. Pierre wins this fight, or BJ wins this fight, both of them get, Thiago Alves. That's the first fight that they'd have to face. Obviously for George St. Pierre, if he does that, beats Thiago, we could possibly start talking about him moving up to face Anderson Silva. But he'd have to face Thiago first. Right. And BJ Penn, I wouldn't let go to 185 pounds. So he would just defend both titles.
Why wouldn't you let him go up?
Because he's not big enough. He doesn't have the frame for 185 pounds. St. Pierre does.
You take a look at this past weekend, spectacular weekend in Vegas. Brock Lesnar taking Randy Couture. You promoted this fight as the biggest fight in UFC history. I don't know about you, but this fight coming up between BJ and GSP, you tell me, where's it going to rank?
This fight's huge. When we talked about it being the biggest fight in UFC history, what I was talking about was the biggest pay-per-view we've ever done. And to be honest with you, this fight is so sick between St. Pierre and Penn. Who knows? Maybe they beat the Lesnar-Couture fight in pay-per-view buys, but I can tell you this, it is highly anticipated fight. Tickets went on sale. There's only a few thousand tickets left. I think there's 2,000 tickets left for this fight. That's how fast they're selling. So anybody who wants to go had better get their tickets fast.
You predicted 1.2 for Lesnar and Couture. Any results as of yet?
Yeah, like I said in all the pre-press stuff, we have a formula. We have a great idea of knowing how we're going to do. We polled some of the systems on cable, and then the real tell is when the DirecTV number comes in. The DirecTV number came in, and it didn't suck. It was good.
Any number specific that you could share? Or?
No, we don't give out numbers, but we're real happy. We're real pleased with what it did. And like I said, when I told people, I said we'll either be a little over, little under, or dead on. And like I said, we're very close, so it's good. Well,
that's good to hear. One thing I never thought I would say, I'm sure you never thought you would say, but the Brock Lesnar era has officially begun.
It really has. This guy, I thought he had potential when he fought Mir. I knew he was the real deal when he fought Heath Herring. And now that he's beat Randy Couture, you can't deny the guy. He is a mixed martial artist. And now I look forward to either another Mir fight or a Nogueira fight. Either one of those fights are very interesting.
I talked to a whole whack of fighters after the Vegas event. I even spoke to some guys when I got home here. A lot of them still are not convinced about Brock Lesnar, even though he just defeated Randy Couture. How do you convince these guys that, you know what, he is a real mixed martial artist? And overall, who do you think can beat him?
Think about this. The only guy to ever knock out Randy Couture was Chuck Liddell. Brock Lesnar just did it in his third fight in mixed martial arts. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's unbelievable. The guy is good. You might not like him. You might not want to root for him. You have to deal with it. The guy is a very good mixed martial artist. And he's only going to get better. Every time he fights, he's going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, when I came back from Vegas, one of the things I spoke about was the fact that, he is green still, and he's the heavyweight champion in the world. I don't know if Nogueira can beat him because Nogueira is such a slow starter. Frank Mir, he's got me a little worried because if Brock gets on top of him, it could get pretty ugly. But the one name that keeps coming up, and you've heard it before, Fedor. Any thoughts or any way you can bring this guy in to bring him to fight Brock?
I've been trying to get Fedor forever now. One of the crazy things when I tell people, the 9 years that I've been promoting this business, all the time that I've been trying to get Fedor, I've never even met Fedor. That's how serious they are about fighting in the UFC. And people talk about how great he is and everything else. You know, he hasn't fought anybody since 2005. George St. Pierre and BJ Penn are two of the greatest fighters, you know, in the world right now, and they're both world champions. And the reason everybody's so excited about this fight is because these guys consistently prove that they're the best fighters in the world. They fight 3 times a year. They fight the best guys 3 times a year. Fedor hasn't fought anybody. He just beat Tim Sylvia, knocked him down the first round. Everybody knocked Tim Sylvia down the first round that fought him. You know, it's not a big deal. Fedor is a lot of hype.